when I was studying in the institute, the head of the institute was one of the most influential scholars in the Arab Peninsula. So, and if you go back to the late 1990s, there was a rise of, especially in Arab Peninsula, like Al Qaide, in the media, because even at that time there was like a vacuum in the media. There is like no much of event there. So Osama bin Laden emerged like as a man who fight against American empire. The attacks took places in Africa, Nairobi, Dar es Salaam. Then United States attacked Sudan, and they attacked Afghanistan for the first time. Then Osama bin Laden attacked US school, and there was like attacked in Saudi Arabia. So there was like something big happened there. The institute I was studying was funded by the Saudi government.
Okay.
So the head of the institute was asked to write a book so they can educate the new generation about the new ideology, and to, because he was against Osama bin Laden, against Al Qaeda, and so on.
He was against them.
Yeah, so he wanted to write a book about that. When you dismantle their argument, it's not just to say they are bad. You need to bring the argument. You need to bring their ideology there and start dismantle it in the view of the religion.
Okay.
So basically, based on that. At that time, there was no any kind, like a lot of materials available, not online.
There wasn't what?
No materials, about
Al
Qaeda, because you need to know about the ideology, what their ideology, what the fatwa, books, what they came from, what the argument is. So you can bring the argument then, because when you talk to the people, you are not just to talk to one group. You're going to address all categories in the society, educated and uneducated, all kind of people.
Yeah.
So he need to write like a book in that aspect, so he can like, here's what the problem, and this is what how we can like started talking about the problem and the argument from the religion to the view. So the head of this institute selected one of his students to do the research, to go to Afghanistan, and started like he would meet with people there and do the research, go to their schools to interview them, to get materials, books, cassettes. There was no CDs or stuff like that. At that time, there was no internet, no Google, nothing. And like, ironically, I came to know later that the Saudi government actually like used this institute like around the world, because also the Saudi is a way of controlling the people, the mainstream view of the people through those institute, charity organizations, and so on.
So you want to say those institutes that were founded by Saudis, they were actually puppet institutes used for instrumentalization?
Not. What can I say? Puppets. It just, you funded something because they supported your views, and it became also. For example, if the institute has like 10,000 or 3,000 students. And what the ideology would got, the education they got, and everything will be in the benefit of whom? Of the founder, right? of the also the financer, right?
Yeah.
So Saudi is not just in Yemen; they're like around the world. And when MBS came, I think he stopped all of that. So anyway, like the head institute sometimes used to give like reference letter to Saudi Arabia, to Qatar, to Kuwait, to some Gulf countries where you can go study actually as like scholarship.
Okay.
And I went to him like 4 times. Please, I need your help. I need this kind of like reference letter. He's okay. We'll see. He was strict about it. Then he said, okay. One day he told me, okay, I will help you, but you help me first. It was kind and nice to me. I said, okay. I said, we need to go with this person if you can go, if you'd like to go. I said, yeah, I like travel. Yes, why not? So also at that time, traveling in Afghanistan, if you travel to Afghanistan, you'll be in the government list. So we get the clearance from the government, from our government, from Yemeni government at that time. They took our passport basically, and they gave it to the Yemeni intelligence, and they gave us some kind of like recommendations to Yemen embassy in Pakistan, and we were given like phone numbers. If you get any trouble, you call the embassy, and they know like who we are basically. So because at that time in the 1990s, United States after the attacks on US school, attacks in other countries, some of the fighters who fought in Bosnian war and fought against the Soviet Union in Afghanistan, some of them were in Yemen from different nationalities. And they were either studying Yemen or live in Yemen. So Yemen, United States government told Yemen either get rid of them or going to sanction Yemen. So at that time, Yemen president started, they started like flushing everyone out. Some of these men, if they were sent to their home countries, they would be executed. So now they said, like, we need to find a country for these people. So they one of the reasons that book, like the institute went to write a book, and also like at that time I lost track of the story. So I'm trying to say here, at that time in the end of the 1990s, there was some kind of rise of Al Qaide and Taliban, and the new jihad ideology. So basically, the head institute would write a book to dismantle such ideology. This is in short words. Our mission basically to go there, and the researcher would interview some people, ask questions, collect materials, and like be the eye and the ears of the institution. So our mission started from there. All I want from that to get like those reference letters, and I could finish my college.
You just wanted to finish the research.
Yes,
to get the reference letter, so
yes,
you can go to the college.
Exactly. So basically,
because but life had different plans.
It's like for me, like you at that age, you didn't think straight. Full of energy, and like there was going.
You
to
were like how old?
18,
are you? 18 years old.
18, yeah. And I said I'm going from there.
You were a child, basically.
But I was very mature. Like even when people talked to me, they said, "You didn't look 18. Like you didn't seem 18. You seem like 30 or something." Because the way I was raised up, like when I live in the city and study and start working, like very curious. And so we flew to Pakistan. We went to Yemen embassy and met them there and we told them about it. They said, "Okay, yeah, good to go." Then we were accompanied by Pakistani police to the border, then went to Afghanistan. And from there, like we spent around like, I think like 2 or 3 months. We almost like finished. And we were recommended from Yemen to charity, the Saudi charity in Afghanistan, like who do some charity work, like building schools or wells for water, or helping with some like medicine and hospitals. So this was our contact point in Afghanistan. We arrived there. And my friend, the moment you arrive in Afghanistan, you feel you travel in time back like 1,000 years. Literally, the only thing connected to modern life is the motorcycles and the cars. Other than this, the way of life, the hardship of life, and people face the poverty, everything around you, like the things I used to read in the books. So basically, when we went on the car, I saw a lot of those tanks, vehicles destroyed, like which tells history. When you arrived in Kabul, there's a lot of damaged buildings, like because the war, bullets, explosions. There's a huge scars in every building, which is a lot of history. Kabul, however, it's a beautiful city. So we started from there, and we traveled to different places. We interviewed some people, visit some institutes, and like I came to know there's like different groups. You have like almost like you have Egyptian group, you have other Saudi group, you have none of them actually agreed with Al Qaide. Yeah. They have their own groups and their own like ideology and their own plans and their own, and some people who just live there like normal life. Some people
just regular people.
People who fled their own countries and they want to have a safe to live, to have find a place to live, like the Uyghurs who fled from China, or like some people who fled from Tunisia, or because like that time, like Egypt and Tunisia and Algeria, they were torturing a lot of prisoners. Like if you have like even become like a practice Muslim something, you will be tortured and so on. So we met a lot of people, and it was interesting. Time passed by, and one day we were
How long you were there?
we were there like only for a couple months.
Couple of months. Okay.
Couple of months, yeah.
In Kabul.
No, different places. Because
Different places. You have to traveling around.
You have to travel around because our contact with the church organization, and they have cars basically.
Okay.
They have cars and they have contact. They have no people, and from there, they tell you like they give you all the information. I have like a notebooks which I write dates, phone numbers, contact, locations, and that notebook becomes something later. We'll talk about it. So. One day we were in like small restaurant eating breakfast, and actually we were planning we almost like planned to go back, and the researcher, he said we need to call the head institute because there is like some development in you need to do some other stuff. So one day we're listening to the radio because Afghanistan, as you know, there was no TVs. TVs were banned, and like as
TVs were banned
basically, yeah, and you are totally disconnected from the world. Like as I told you, when you live 1,000 behind, I'm not exaggerating. So, and so basically, like people only connect through the radios, listen to the news. So and we heard in the news that there was like attack on Americans with the airplanes. Honestly, we didn't give it much attention. Like. There is no connection. There is nothing you can say yeah or track you or wherever. So we didn't give it a thought. Maybe like airplanes or attacked buildings. When we head back to the church organization, the head of the church organization told us, there is some major attack on the United States, and then accusing Al Qaide. He said, we are waiting now for instruction from Saudi Arabia.
We are waiting for instructions. Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
And, then he got instruction like liquid everything and leave immediately. So I came to know years later that charity was actually just Saudi intelligence base.
Okay.
Yeah, but honestly at that time I didn't know. I came like maybe...
You were too young to know.
No, I wasn't like, because you didn't have that knowledge. I came to know along maybe 10 years or 12 years later in Guantanamo. I was like thinking, connecting dots sometimes. Saudi there. Why Saudi like everywhere? So basically, you were working for them, but you didn't know even working for them. Okay. So basically, you were doing your own thing. Like, it's that what it seems. And it's kind of smart way. So basically, like, look what different thing and we're leaving. So they have a lot of stuff. They have medicine, blankets, they have dates, they have food, they have money. They like look what everything and leave immediately. And you say, guys, like, and you should leave too. Let you know. And the researcher said, okay, Mansoor, we are leaving. So I came to know a nice guy who was working for the charity. He said, would you help me? I said, yeah. So he had some kind of like medicine and blankets and also some money to take it to one of the hospitals. He said, we need to give them this. And because also those people are sincere and nice people. I want to do the right thing. It's not just get rid of everything. And we didn't also, at that time, we didn't understand the magnitude of the problem. The guys like, it's a big, huge problem, but I never saw the TV. I never watched it. We just heard about it and we get like something is big. That's it. What's going to happen? We never expected Americans going to invade Afghanistan even. It didn't cross our mind at all. So on our way to one of the hospitals in the north of Afghanistan, we should like deliver this kind of the stuff from the church organization, medicine and other stuff and so on. We were ambushed on the way.
You were ambushed on the way?
Yeah, the car, like, the guy was driving the car. And, like, we thought they were Taliban, like, people on cars, machine guns, and there's, like, the charity organization, the car that belonged to the church organization was, like, a beautiful new Toyota car, blue. So, when they came, we thought they were Taliban, and they get to search and so on. They said, okay. They said, salam, salam. And they said, get out. We came out of the car, and By the way, honestly, what I felt, they're not good people because the way they look at us, the way they were, I didn't understand the language, but I can tell something is wrong. And I told him, I said, no, don't worry.
They
just
were speaking Pashto.
Yeah. He said, no, don't worry. They just, they always do this. They make sure we didn't have any weapon and so on, and they will let us know. And they were talking through the radios. Like, they have like... Motorola's records, yes, basically, how we communicate. They communicate. And the church organization, they have also radio, big radio there, how they communicate. And one of them went to grab my backpack. So I fought with them. I'm not going to give it to you. Then they said, hey, guys, this guy is like, the head of them is the warlord. He said, you guys coming with me, my guests. And we told him, like, we need to go. He said, no, I insist, blah, 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 and so on. We told him, like, they were Taliban. But at that time, American intelligence started talking, people started shifting loyalties. It's like, the more you pay, people will follow you, basically. Those people, like mercenaries from within the country.
Okay.
So we went to his home, like, as guests. They took the car, and they told us, like, you cannot leave.